Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. On Thursdays at 2 o'clock, which is now, I jump on and share a mystery challenge with you. So what I do is I post earlier in the day some clues for you, and you can bring along your supplies and make a card with me. So today I posted that to make a card using embossing designer series paper and a thanks sentiment. And so you can use any combination. Well, you can use all of those, but for example, embossing, you could do heat embossing, or you could use an embossing folder, or maybe both. Up to you what project you create with those three items. So hopefully you've grabbed your supplies and you're ready to get going and make a card along with me. Now I'm using the Thoughtful Wishes suite, which is a suite in the catalog, the new annual catalog from Stampin' Up! It's so pretty in this designer series paper. It can be the star of the show, which is what I'm going to try and let it be today, because it is absolutely gorgeous designer series paper. All right, let's switch over to my desktop and we'll get started. So this is the Thoughtful Wishes bundle. Some really pretty stamps, some lovely sentiments. It's a really nice one for sentiments, some splatter. And then you have the dies that go with it. Now, of course, you have the dies that will cut out the stamped images, but then if you guys follow me, you know I'm a sucker for sprig dies, or any dies that will allow me to kind of add layers to my cards. And so this one's got a lot of them with leaves, and then these really quite big sprigs. So I'm going to use just one today on my card. So that's the bundle. And then the designer series paper, and I don't have all of it here because I used a bunch of it for our make and takes. If you're coming to the virtual launch on Saturday, this was we used this paper for the make and takes. So it's absolutely stunning. And while I don't know if this is true, when we've had paper like this before, one of the concept artists has actually done the watercolor in miniatures, and then it's been reproduced into paper. So I don't know that that's absolutely true, but I half expect that that's the case with this one as well. So this gorgeous paper, and on the other side you have these watercolor kind of backgrounds. You can just imagine someone hand painting these. Some really lovely colors. So the new in colors are in these with the Petunia Pop. You've got some wild wheat from last year, mossy meadow. I just absolutely love this paper. Peach pie, and on the other side, just really subtle, watercolors. We're using this one today. I'm just going to use a piece of this one. This is my favorite that is in the package. It's 6x6 paper, and you get 48 sheets. So that's the one side of that, and then the other side, berry burst, wild wheat. Definitely moody. This one's very moody. And then this one reminds me of the Magical Meadow, I think it was called, that was in the holiday catalog, and that paper actually carried over. So it reminds me of when you take ink and then put salt on it, and you get these great kind of designs. This is another really pretty one. Okay, and then that's one. This is in Blackberry Bliss, and on the other side, some more thistles. It's really pretty. That's not all of them. I've used a lot of this package up already. Okay, so I've got my supplies mostly cut. I'm using Petunia Pop, which is, it's hard to pick a favorite in the new in colors. So today in Petunia Pop is one of my favorites. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. And we're going to score it at 4 1/4, or in half, and fold it into the mountain or the raised line. Ooh, I didn't get that scored very well. Let's try and get that in half. There we go. Okay, so that's my card base. Then I cut a piece of basic white. So I'm using one of the new embossing folders. This is called So Swirly, and it's really big. So this is 6 inches by 8.5 inches, this embossing folder. It is not a 3D embossing folder. So when you use it, you use the platform and then 2 of the cutting plates, number 3, with it. So this is kind of like the older version of our embossing folders, not the 3D. It's quite thin, so a little different sandwiching configuration. So that's going to go on like that. And then I took just a piece. So this is a 2-inch strip, 2 inches by 5.25 inch strip of that gorgeous designer series paper. Like I said, I really want the paper to be the star of the show on this card. So we're going to adhere this. Oh, that was the same glue from yesterday that I couldn't get. There's a clog in it that I'm going to have to get out. Okay. This swirl is just so pretty. It's quite subtle. Just really a pretty embossing folder. I know I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. So if you live in Canada and you're not a demonstrator and you don't have a regular demonstrator, put a bunch of caveats on it, because my launch that I do with my friend Diane is intended for customers and for our teams. So if you do live in Canada and you don't have a regular demonstrator that you deal with, you're more than welcome to join. And the link is on my Facebook group. So the link to my Facebook group is underneath this video. So you're welcome to join us. We will be live on Saturday from 7 a.m. or about 7:10 until probably just after 6 or thereabouts, off and on through the day, with demonstrations, games, walk through the catalog, all sorts of things, prizes, of course. And so if you're not part of that group and you're interested, please find that link on my Facebook group. We'd love to have you join us. All right, so I've got my designer series paper adhered to the embossed, and then I cut out one of those sprigs out of basic white, and we're just going to use that. It's a shame to cover up that paper, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to use just a glue dot. So if you're creating something along with me, let me know what you're creating. And if you're just watching, let me know where you're watching from. All right, so I'm gonna let that be kind of free floating. I've just put a glue dot on there. And I have some of this gorgeous Petunia Pop ribbon that I am going to just kind of wrap around the bottom of my card base. And I always use Stamp and Seal when I'm putting ribbon on to my card base, because I find that it keeps the ribbon attached better than if I just use glue. If you really want to make sure the ribbon holds, you can use tear and tape adhesive over top of it. I just kind of go over it with my Stamp and Seal just to make sure that it's kind of held in place, and I find that works. But I know some people will use tear and tape adhesive. Ooh. Hey, Mary, welcome. All right, so try and get that on straight like that. Okay, let's just start. Now, I cut a piece. I'm going to do something. I did this the other day too. I don't know what's happening. I'm kind of changing my tune here as I've come back from my trip. I don't typically cut my card stock when I'm going to stamp a sentiment. I tend to fussy cut, and I know it drives people crazy. But today I actually cut a piece that is 5/8 of an inch by, I don't know what it is, 5/8 of an inch, and I'm just going to stamp in the center of it. And then I'm going to cut flag ends, or tag ends in both. So I'm going to put this on probably like this. I haven't decided where it's going to go yet. Okay, so we're going to cut tag ends in both ends just because I can't decide where this sentiment is going to go. So I cut up from the middle, so from the end through the middle, and then cut my diagonal to get my flag and that, or my tag, I'm not sure what you call it. And that helps me get those points, inner points, to be straight or in the middle, because if I don't do it that way, I get them all skew-if, as my mother used to say. All right, I'm going to put dimensionals on this. Still using the last of my sheet of dimensionals here. Okay. Come on, you can come off. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to take and put this right on here. And now I'm going to do the same with my petunia pop. I'm going to cut up from the middle to that point on the basic white and then cut. And hopefully I get the tags that are close to matching. There we go. Okay, oops, and upside down, thanks. Okay, so I've got my thanks. I think I'm going to do it like that. And again, I'm going to use dimensionals. So we'll double pop up this, this sentiment. One, two, three. All right, there we go. That. All right, so we need to finish this bow. So I'm going to just take another piece of my ribbon and I'm going to do a faux bow. And if you don't know what that is, I just take a piece of ribbon that's what, about 4 inches long, tuck it underneath, and then just tie a single knot. I call that a faux bow. Sometimes when bows aren't being my friend, these faux bows will definitely work. So then you can just kind of tighten it and trim that. Okay, pretty simple card, but let's put some embellishments on it to finish it off. These are the new in color shimmer gems, and they come in all of the new in colors. So we'll use some of the petunia pop ones. They're very subtle, but they're so pretty, like that. And the last thing, I could have cut a piece of my designer series paper, which is what I often do, but let's just stamp. I know what I was going to stamp. I was going to stamp the splatter on them. So we'll stamp it. Just, I tend to stamp in the bottom right corner. I know some people. Thanks, Jacqueline. Yes, it's nice to be home. It was an amazing incentive trip. Oh gosh, felt so spoiled and just loved every minute of it. Got to spend some time with my sister who lives in Calgary, and so that was very lovely. And then of course I got to see all my other Stampin' friends. And yeah, just it was very hot and humid. Let's just say, oh gosh, I couldn't have stood too much more of it. It was very hot, and unfortunately I did get a little bit burned while I was there. Not too bad, but a little bit. There we go. Quick and easy, fairly quick and easy card. Just one little die cut, and if you do some die cutting ahead of time, you've got these sprigs that are perfect just to kind of decorate your card. So this is Petunia Pop, one of the new in colors, and this is the So Swirly embossing folder. And then on the inside, just some splatter. It's a fairly quick and easy card. So don't forget to, if you're making projects, share them in my Facebook group. I'd love to see what you're creating. And I will be doing some share prizes over the next couple of days, so that I'm a little behind in that, but I will be doing some over the next couple of days because I love to see what everybody is creating. Thanks, Mary. Okay, so as I said, if you're interested in attending the virtual launch, it is on Saturday, this Saturday, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. We'll see when we finish, in a Facebook group. So it's an exclusive Facebook group for the virtual launch, and you can find that link on in my Facebook group, or I put it in my newsletter as well if you get my newsletter. Now the caveat is this is for customers and our teams, and so if you don't have a regular demonstrator that you deal with, or you're on my team, so you're welcome to join. And hopefully we'll see some of you in the Facebook group for Saturday. There is a special on if you put an order in between actually yesterday and Monday, I think the end is Monday, you will get a package of embellishments. So an order of $65 or more, you will get a package of embellishments as a thank you for your order. All right, so I will not be live on Saturday because I will be live in the virtual launch group. So we will see you on Sunday at 12 noon. All right, everybody, hope you have a great day. Happy stamping. Bye.